Hey, I'm Kev, and welcome to Copa Petrobras de Marcas, the latest effort by Research Studios, who have also done GameStop Car Extreme, which you may have seen quite a lot on this channel already, and Formula Trucks as well. But this game was paid for by the main series sponsor, Petrobras, so this game is free, so you can check it out in the description below. Click on the link and have some fun with it yourselves. But sadly, it doesn't have multiplayer, and it is unmoddable though. But this Brazilian touring car series has been around since 2011 in its current guise, has 5 manufacturers involved, of which 4 feature in this game, such as the Toyota Corolla XRS, the Mitsubishi Lancer GT, nice spoiler mate, the Ford Focus is looking meaner than I've ever seen it in Britain, and the Chevrolet Cruze, which is a regular fixture in touring car racing all over the world. He also has the Mitsubishi Petrobras car, and the strange omission, it doesn't have the Honda Civic like it does in real life though, but it does have the 6 circuits of the official series in real life, such as the Brasilia circuit, about a mile long, about a minute long. It reminds me of Thruxton in Britain without the chicanes that Thruxton has, so it's a bit better in my opinion. It also has the Curitiba circuit, wrong circuit map though, Reezy, you got to fix that. It has 11 turns, about 2.25 miles long, just about 3.5 kilometers long as well, and it's an old school technical circuit. It used to be a regular fixture on the World Touring Car Championship schedule a couple of years ago. And then we have the right circuit map for the Autodromo Internacional Ayrton Senna, 15 turns, about 2.5 miles long, just under 4 kilometers long, and this is an updated version of the track compared to GameStop Car Extreme, although those changes are really minor. And then we have the Interlagos circuit, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace, the home of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it's a variant on the circuit map that you see. It has the chicane at the start of the front straight, which they introduced to some Brazilian series a couple of years ago. Then it has the Tarumba circuit, about 10 turns, 2 miles long, and it's a bit more technical than Brasilia track, as you see, summarised by that hairpin turn 4 there, right in the middle of the lap. And finally, there's a Velo Park track, a variant of the main circuit. It has 8 turns, about a mile long, about a minute long, and this is part of a motorsport complex in Brazil, and it's also a circuit like all of these circuits that Stock Car Brazil visits, so you might recognise all of these circuits from Game Stock Car Extreme. But in today's video, we're doing a 15-minute time race in the Mitsubishi Petrobras car around Brasilia against 17 AI opponents. I believe that's the maximum you can race. There's no practices, but there is qualifying. That's a bit different in Game Stock Car Extreme, but I skipped it, so I'm starting right at the back of the race before I start racing and charging through the field against 95% AI strength, 50% AI aggression, and 50% damage multiplier. Basically the default settings, and they seem to be right for me. I race with no assist apart from auto clutch because I'm rubbish with the clutch, so let's go to the race and see how I do. So welcome to the formation app, and I set the start to track default, and that's a rolled in start. So I haven't done many of those in this game, of course, and all in Game Stock Car Extreme, so this should be very interesting as they keep pressing the brakes, the AI, on this formation app. I bet that's disconcerting to some eyes though, and they really slam it down when the pace car, you know, goes into the pits, or safety car. But as you can see, I was backing up that last corner to get a great run on this first lap of the Brasilia track. I'll show you around this track, and then I'll talk about the game and talk about the series in real life as well, as you go towards the first corner and get it down to 3rd gear, braking, going, taking the wide line, trying to get a great run out of this corner, get on the power early, maybe take a couple of AI down this straight. But look how fast they are down this straight. Of course, that increases with the difficulty as well, their speed down the straight, so you know, we're struggling to keep up with them heading into corner 2 as we take that in 3rd gear, and this is the slowest corner on the track, and it really tightens up on the exit. Don't want to get in the power too early because you see that wall right on the outside. You'll be visiting that like I did a couple of times in this race. We make it 3 wide for the flat out left anking. Can we make it through? Yes we can, just about. So we're up to 14th heading into turn 4, and you get it down to 3rd gear, dab the brakes, well, bit more than dab the brake, medium brakes into the corner, but you can get on the power early and really extend that corner. And now heading towards the final corner, taking a cheeky look down the inside of the Toyota. That's not going to work, and you normally take that in 4th gear. I dab the brakes for stability and get help a bit with the turning, but you can probably just lift and take it in 4th gear if you're really good. So yeah, that is a lap of Brasilia. Has, here we go, you take a bit of a more normal line into this first corner, and as you can see, going out wide again, trying to get the run, and you can really push these corners on the outside. As you can see, there's a bit of runoff there that you can use, but you've got to be careful, of course, because there's grass and the walls are always quite close around this circuit. And so yeah, that's a lap of Brasilia, very fast, like I said, a bit like Thruxton in Britain without the chicanes. But let's talk about this game now, this free game from Reza, paid for by Petrobras, the series sponsor of the Brazilian touring car series, just to help raise awareness, I believe, of this series, help promote it a bit. And it's certainly done that, because I was not aware of the series at all before this game appeared. And so it's done its mission statement then. It's done its job of making me aware of this series, helping me get interested in this series as well, with the 4 manufacturers. You know, still find it strange there's no Honda in this game, but that might just be licensing issues, and there's nothing you can really do about that, unfortunately. So yeah, it's unfortunate we couldn't have the Honda Civic as well, but you know, all 4 cars are very nicely done by Reza, it seems, as you can see on the exterior and in the interior as well. The interiors in the cars mostly the same. Might have to change FOV on a couple of cars, but I seem to have found the sweet spot, at least on this car, where I can see the rev lights and I can see my dash quite clearly. As you can see, we got the gearing, got our pace, got the laps, and got a position as well on that dash. And you might see on the HUD in the bottom right as well, there's a slight change of font compared to GameStop Kart Stream and R Factor. I like that minor touch. I kind of prefer this font compared to the font in R Factor and GameStop Kart Stream. So yeah, nice minor adjustment to the HUD as well in this game. But back to talking about the cars, because this is the main aspect of the game, as there's no multiplayer at the moment, even though Reza said there's options with these games going forward, so maybe they will have more multiplayer later on. And there's no modding, of course, because this is a standalone game, paid for product. You know, it won't be part of GameStop Kart Stream ever, or maybe ever. And so yeah, for the time being, it is going to be a standalone game and a free game as well, so you can't complain about that too much. But yeah, the AI, I'm just not finding them as good as in GameStop Kart Stream. It might just because I haven't got the settings right, as you saw. I've just basically ran with the default settings for this race, or they're just not driving this car as well as they would the cars in GameStop Kart Stream. And so I don't know really what it is, but I'm just not finding them as challenging, as fun as in GameStop Kart Stream, even though I'm running quite similar settings. I do run close to the default settings in GameStop Kart Stream, as well, as you saw at the beginning of this race in my introduction. And so yeah, maybe I just got to find the sweet spot, but yeah, just not quite as good. The AI, they do kind of like to break into the corners. In the corners, you know, they're still quite slow compared to you, and down the straights they're a bit faster than you, of course, as you've already seen. And yeah, forward wheel drive cars, I can drift for days. And so yeah, that's just a bit disappointing, I find. But yeah, it might just be a fault on my end. That's what I can say about the AI. And as this is a single player game, you can, as you saw in the menu, you can do a single race, you can do practice or test days, and you can do a championship as well. I haven't really done championships in GameStop Kart Stream or this game, but I might do it for this game, you know, for a little series for this channel as well, just to show this game off a bit more. As you know, as I quite enjoy driving these cars, as I've said, you know, they seem to have done a good job with the physics, you know, typical Reza job with the physics. So I quite like driving these cars, and so yeah, it might be good having a championship series on this channel of this game. But apparently there are a couple of little minor changes to the settings. You can't do a couple of things that you can do in GameStop Kart Streaming Championship, setting up the championship. So yeah, if that's true, that's a bit disappointing. And I've seen that in the settings menu as well, and generally the settings are the same, apart from in the controls. You could set the steering wheel range to be shown in game. You could change that in GameStop Kart Stream in the controls menu. You can't do that in this game for some reason. Maybe it's just running on an older version of the G-Motor engine compared to GameStop Kart Stream, but I think you've always had that in GameStop Kart Stream. So yeah, it's a strange omission, if it was an omission, if they did make that change intentionally. So, and you would guess so if it's not in the game at the moment. But you can change that in the game files. You have to go to your profile, you have to go to your controller, and then you have to go to the notepad, click on that, and then you change the steering wheel range. It's default at 270. Well, I calibrate my G25 to this game at 540 steering range, so I've set that to 540, and it seems to have changed it well, as you can see in the video. So yeah, that's how you can change the steering wheel range. And You know, it seems my wheel set up pretty well with this game, just like it is in GameStop. There's nothing different in it. It's just that minor thing that has changed. And as you've seen, there's the odd glitch or something going on, as you saw with the Curitiba trap map being the, you know, auto-join into the Schnauzer instead. You kind of wrong from Reza there, but yeah, I'm sure they'd update that more, as they had to update this game quickly, as well as there was some troubles when it first came out. You know, the game could load, but you only have the safety car. When I first tried this, I loaded the game, I only had the Ford cars, so I decided to reinstall just in case I installed it wrongly, and then I did the sync and it seemed to work fine. Now it's our version 1.02 and it seems fine. They seem to have fixed that bug and fixed the sync problems and fixed the crash log problems I believe people had as well. So yeah, they fixed all of those problems, it seems, with this quick update. They obviously knew something was wrong maybe there, and so maybe it's just an easy thing to fix. And so yeah, quickly fixed by Rezo. Another good job on them to, you know, quickly update and, you know, really support this game early on, at least in its life cycle. And so yeah, those are the few bugs I've seen. There's maybe some other bugs as well, and the sounds of this game, yeah, they're alright, the typical Rezo job. Maybe the game atmosphere around the tracks is not as good as in Games.Kart Stream, but still the car sounds are pretty good. Not as good as, you know, Sector 3 with Race Room, but no one's like that. But it is a good enough job. At least the music on the menus is good, and you've seen the menus, they've changed it a bit. You know, there's the different colour there with the green. I actually prefer that to the yellow in Games.Kart Stream. Maybe I just got used to the music and the menus in Games.Kart Stream, but yeah, I like the menus and the music in this game, at least, you know, the colour and the music as well. Very nice as well. And so yeah, I think that's everything. There's 4 cars, as I said. Not official teams, not official drivers though. So I wonder if that's just licensing issues as well, because there are 26 drivers actually, I mean, in the game files that I checked. But I think it'll be, as I said, I believe you can only rate a maximum of 18 AI in the races. So maybe that's an update coming forward, that you know, increase grid size as well. But in general, it's a very good game. For free, it's extremely good. You know, it's a typical Rezo project there. Not quite as good as, of course, Games.Kart Stream. I haven't really played Formula Truck, so I can't compare it to that. But the only problem with this game really is, yeah, there's the odd glitch, of course, and most of that's been fixed though. It's the limitations of what you can do with the game. It's the fact it's just a single player product, so you can't do multiplayer. If it had multiplayer, I believe this would have quite a good life cycle, because, you know, these cars are quite fun to drive. They've been fun to race other people against, but you don't have that at the moment. It's only against AI, and that can get boring very quickly, you know. And so, as I said, the AI I'm just not finding as engaging as in Games.Kart Stream, so I can't imagine myself playing this for a lot more hours, you know, apart from maybe even the championship mode, you know. But that said, I might do for a series for this channel. And so that is very disappointing, at least. But it is still a very good game, and despite that being very limited, I can imagine that I will play it for at least an hour more, and, you know, just test out the cars at all the circuits, test out settings as well, and have some fun with it. And that's the main thing. It is fun to drive. It is at least fun to drive these cars, at least, and that will be engaging for at least, you know, an hour at least, and maybe a few more after that. So that is the game. That's my opinion on the game. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. But let's talk about this series. Let's talk about this series in real life, the Copa Petrobras de Marcas, which has been around since 2011, replacing, I won't say the Brazilian name for this touring car series, as I will butcher it, but the Brazilian Championship of Brands and Drivers is what it was called, and that ran from 1983 till to 1994, then from 2004 till 2009, and then this came along in 2011. And in that opening year, it had quite a few stock car Brazil drivers and teams. You know, it was really kind of interlocked with that series, and it had a Chevrolet Astra, Ford Focus, and a Honda Civic in that opening year, with a Toyota Corolla entered for a few rounds, and then Toyota entered full time in 2012, along with Mitsubishi with the Lancer GT, and Chevrolet switched to the Chevrolet cruise that dominant car in the World Touring Car Championship, particularly a couple of years ago. And so now you have 10 total teams, with 2 teams each for like a manufacturer. So there's like 2 teams running a Honda Civic, 2 teams running a Mitsubishi Lancer GT, 2 teams running a Toyota Corolla XRS. So yeah, there's 2 teams to each manufacturer effectively. And these cars, they have Pirelli tyres, the 2.3 litre engines producing 300 brake horsepower, their factory original bodies, as you can see in game. They weigh about 1,100 kilograms without the driver, and they have 6-speed gearboxes, and of course their front wheel drive. I hate that. I hate this modern trend, especially in rallying, but also in touring car racing, you know, having front wheel drive. But you know, I understand, you know, why manufacturers are doing that, of course. And the championship, how it runs during the year, it has 8 rounds with 2 races, 2 30 minutes plus 1 lap long races with no pit stops. They run until the end throughout the whole of that race. But this year they changed the format slightly. They had 7 normal rounds and then 1 extra long race at Interlagos for the 3rd round, and that ran for 55 minutes plus a lap, where you can do refueling, where you can do tyre changes, and where you can do driver changes as well. There'll be 2 drivers driving that car in that extra long race. The top 8 of the first race, normally in a normal weekend, they would qualify for the first race, and then the top 8 would be reversed for the second race, just like say in GP2 or in the World Touring Car Championship. And of course the success ballast, seen as it's a touring car series, so first gets 80 kilograms down to 8th would get 10 kilograms, and that would of course change depending on the results throughout the year, apart from the first round and the final round. And the final round of the championship in this series, cover your ears F1 fans, counts for double points. So the final 2 races of the year count for double points, and we've seen that IndyCar next year as well. I hate that in IndyCar, but yeah, not a big fan of double points for just being a final round. There has to be something else to it, really, I would say, to accept double points as a score medium for that round. But the point system for the past couple of years has actually been similar to the MotoGP scoring system. It goes down to 15th place, and it goes 25, 20, 16, 14, 12, 10, then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But they changed the system again this year. There seems to be a year of change this year, where they changed it to suit more consistency. It rewards that more than, you know, just outright winning. It seems it's gone down from 23 points for a win, and then it's 20 for second, 18 for third, 16 for fourth, 14 for fifth, then 12, 10, 8, and then 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down to 15th again, with the 2 worst scores dropped at the end of the championship year. So you could have 2 retirements, but if you're on the podium and doing well in the other races, you'll still, you know, finish high up in the championship. So, you know, that's good if you do have a couple of retirements out of your control, and then, you know, you're still in the hunt for the championship at least, and they don't really count towards your championship total at the end of the year. And there's still a few Stock Car Brazil, say, teams and drivers in this series, such as Adam Kodar and Dennis Navarro and Vitor Miro, who's also a former IndyCar driver, Ricardo Mauricio and Thiago Camilo. And Thiago Camilo won the first championship in 2011. He won it in a Chevrolet Astra, but for the past 3 years it's been Ricardo Mauricio winning it in a Honda Civic. And his team JRM Racing has won the Teams Championship for the past couple of years, but in 2011 and 2012 it was full-time sports, winning it in their Honda Civic. So to win in this championship, it seems you need Ricardo Mauricio, a Honda Civic, and JRM Racing, his team at the moment. So there you go, there's your recipe for success in this series in 2015. And the manufacturer championship, well, in 2011 it was Chevrolet with their Astra, but the past couple of years it's been a Toyota Honda battle, and actually Chevrolet were battling Honda in 2011 as well. And in 2012 and 2014 it's been Toyota winning that battle, but in 2013 it's been Honda winning it. And the interesting thing about Ricardo Mauricio's first championship in this series in 2012, as I finished the race in 5th place, was that he won it without winning a race. He won it ahead of Ricardo Zonta, who won 3 races, compared to Thiago Camilo, who won 6 races in 2011. Yeah, you rarely see a driver win a championship without winning a race. But that's about the championship, that's about the game. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.